Ta-ta-ta-ta! Big up the therapy army. Welcome to United Real Therapy, people. Welcome to United Real Therapy. Therapy army, where are you? Ooh, nah, nah, no, De Gea will lose that second goal. I will not concede that. There you go. It's already started, people. The Glazer fan base, the Glazer stands have already started their madness. Listen, he was always going to listen. De Gea's not saving that second goal, man. He's not. Lil ass, let it go, man. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go, man. De Gea ain't gonna save that, man. De Gea ain't gonna save that, brother. Trust me. De Gea ain't gonna save that. Big up, people. Big up. Yeah, man, it says always there for the therapy. God bless. Listen, love. It's all love, people. It's all love. IDK, how do people rate Bruno Fernandes as a player? These guys stats feel everyone thinking his quality. Such a terrible footballer. We'll win nothing major with him. Wow. Jack is going in. Jack is like, yo, this is the real, raw red pod. He's going in, mate. It's real, it's raw, and it's red. Hey, let's be having here. He's going in, Jack. That is what you call what he says on the tin. Is raw, is real, raw, and red. And Jack is gone for it. Smash a like, people. Smash a like. Jack's gone for it. Listen, at the end of the day, it's all about opinion, innit? We have certain preferences of a certain types of footballers, and we like some more than others because what we think, how we think football should be played, how football should be. We all have these preferences about certain players. We don't rate certain players. I don't really rate Onana, but Onana was brilliant last night. He was really good last night. He made 2 good saves. And the first goal, he came out a bit too quick. That's the only thing is he going to criticize. But come on, what an absolute touch. First touch and a finish by Jude Bellingham, who's just a baller, mate. Absolute baller. Absolute showed last night. That Real Madrid, that number 5 shirt, he's worthy. That goal is worthy of that number 5 shirt. And he showed it last night. So, yeah. We got humbled. We got touched. It's all good. It's pre-season, people. I never get giddy or I never get downbeat. I don't do it either way. It's pre-season. For me, if that was 2-0 in the first, second, or third game of the Premier League, I'll be absolutely spitting kittens. But I'm not spitting kittens. I'm not. But big up to everybody. Big up Rafa. Been really sad today. I appreciate you for streaming today. It means a lot to me, brother. I love you. Rafa, it's absolutely love. Bro, whatever you're going through, just know that people love you. People care about you, bro. So just know that you're loved. But I really appreciate this, and I genuinely appreciate you sharing this, bro. I can imagine the black screen because you lost somebody. I'm really sorry if you've lost somebody. I'm really sorry for your loss, bro. I know how that feels. Trust me. I'm not just saying it. I know that feeling. And if you lost somebody, it's gonna grief is an absolute horrible thing, and it's gonna come in waves and hit you in 6 times upside your head. You know what I mean? It's gonna knock you sideways. So just take care, be compassionate, and be loving to yourself, and take care. But I appreciate you for sharing, King. I appreciate you for sharing. Big up, yo, people in the chat, man. Let's show some love to our brother Rafa42. Let's show him love, man. This is the therapy. I mean, this is a community, man. None of it. We say what we have to say in the most raw and real way. But let's also show love, man. And know that, yeah, this is a community. We do like this community. We're glad we're part of this community. And you know what? We're going to share. So love. Absolute love. Yes, sir. Send you a link. Big up to Irfan in the chat. Let's talk about it, people. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I never get too gassed. I never get too down about pre-season. This is the thing for me. Genuinely, I never get too down, or I never get too too kind of like, oh, what the hell is going on here? You know what I mean? I don't get too down or too gassed pre-season, but in games when it matters, that's what I talk about. Games when it matters. Those are the games that are important to me. No, Heiner, where are you? Where was your boy Rashford last night? Same old 3 out of 10. The same he gets even when he scores. Big up to you. Big up to you, Mateus. Mateus, listen. Without Rashford's goals, Manchester United are not finishing, not in the Champions League. You're going to enjoy Champions League games this season. At the end of the day, it's pre-season, and I'm not judging people of pre-season. And if you are doing that, then I can't help you, genuinely. I think you got to judge players for performance in the league or when it matters. I think pre-season is about fitness, genuinely. It's about fitness. Ten Hag just wants to have that competitive edge when he says, oh, there's no friendly games, but it is. It don't matter, really. But yeah, we got a jam-packed show for you tonight, innit? Big up, Tom. How you doing, Tom?
Yeah, big up. Yeah.
Are we in the Seven Hills, pal? Are we in the Seven Hills, or are we still National Man of Mystery? Are you still on the run, Tom? Are you still on the run?
I don't know. I'm running from, to be honest.
You're running from 3 cars. Listen, you're running from 3 cars in Manchester's finest curry house. That's what you're running from. Yeah, the sale is so funny. I think even the media, even the clickbaiters got tired of the sale talk, bro. It's mad. Even the clickbaiters thought, you know what? That little moppet on YouTube is calling us out. There's nothing little about me, by the way. But they probably think, that moppet on YouTube keeps saying I'm a clickbait. It's 10-0. You know what I mean? So we better stop it. You know what? I've started naming and shaming them. Name and shaming them. And next minute, it's all stopped, man. It's all stopped. And it's all back to life, back to reality. But big up to you, Tom. How are you? You well? Are you having a good week?
Yeah, we're doing all good and everything, and we've only got one more day tomorrow, haven't we? And then we're at the weekend, so yeah.
We're at the weekend. Friday night. Yeah. That people don't rate Bruno need mental treatment. Listen. That's what the beauty of football is, innit? The beauty of football. That's what it is. Comedy FC, no striker. Yes, man, like Yazoo Mohammed, man. Big up to you. Yeah, man. Listen, Rafa, I hope it's all good, bro. Sending love to Rafa, people. Send love to Rafa. Here we go. So thanks, big bro. I really look up to you. Thank you again, bro. I love this community. I feel better already. Yo, Rafa, that's what it is, bro. That's how it is, bro. I'm sorry that you lost somebody, bro. If you have lost somebody, I'm genuinely sorry that if you lost somebody, man. If you have lost somebody, then, yeah, we love. Absolutely love. That girly push was the highlight of the tour for that our number. So what girly push? Oh, come on now, man. UFC 14. What you talking about, girly push? You mean the little push or whatever was going on, man? Listen, it is what it is. He got in there. Martinez is Martinez, innit? Martinez doesn't ever play in a friendly. I think if he played a friendly against his missus, he'll give her a 2-footed tackle. He's not. He'll 2-foot his little kid. He'll 2-foot his missus. He's got. He'll 2-foot the pensioner down the road. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's the type of energy Martinez gives him.
Oh, wow.
He'll 2-foot anyone, honestly. I'm telling you, he'll 2-foot anybody. That's what it is. But love, man. Love people. Big up to everybody. Welcome. Tom, did you watch the game last night? Did you stay up or we had to work? Or
No. Well, I was staying up. I had it on in the background, so.
You had it on in the background?
I had it on in the background.
Yeah. Big up. Earth, how are you, bro? You good?
Yeah, all good, boys. All right, Tom. All right.
Yeah, big up.
What's happened? The summer, the summer in Manchester's been stolen by Europe. So our heat that was supposed to be here, we're supposed to be baking this time of the year. It's gone to like double up with the temperatures in Italy and Greece and the rest of the bloody Europe. What's happened? Our summer's run away. It's like everything else. We're out of Europe. The summers are running away back to Europe now. It's crazy.
No, we only get 8 minutes every season.
And that's not true. Because you know what? I'm a sun worshipper.
I used to think it was 12, but someone told me it was only 8 minutes. So I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm a sun worshipper. Last year we got 7 weeks at least of sunshine. This year I've only had 3 weeks. It's shocking. Absolutely shocking. But Therapy Army, listen, there's a lot. You're all in here. Smash a like, people. Smash an absolute like on that video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty. Irfan watched the full game. I think I watched about 70, 80 minutes, 70, 80 minutes, and I had to
Did you?
turn in, man. Yeah,
you know, it's started at 1:30. Just,
Yeah. Yo, big up Raymond Pierce, man. Big up everybody. Bruno, Rashford, so Bruno went missing in the business of the last season. That's when he matters. Yeah, and 100% because they were played to death. Those players were played to death last season. I called it. I called it 5 months before the season ended. 5-6 months before the season. I was calling it in December saying, you know what, it's going to catch up with us. It's going to catch up with us because he can't keep playing now. I kept talking about it. No other channel was talking about this more than I was. So at the end of the day, that's why we need a squad. But yet again, Glazer ownership, another manager, both hands tied behind his back. The Earth. Listen, first of all, for disclosure, I'll repeat again for everybody. I never get too giddy in a preseason result, and I never get too down because it's preseason. The main thing is manager to experiment, to try things, and then it's about the fitness. That is about the level of fitness, and it's about building the fitness of the first 11. Whoever's going to play. So at the end of the day, they had 60 minutes, 65 minutes last night. It is what it was. I'm just absolutely devastated for Kobe Manoo because everybody, and I hate it like that. I hate it when the press, the media starts getting gassed about certain young player, and then it's like all the attention to them, and then that happens to him. It's just 3 minutes in, the guy innocuous challenge, Rodrigo, literally goes in this, tries to get through, and then lands on his ankle.
Yeah.
And then that's it. He's out.
But Nuruddin, not. Remember, Kobe wasn't involved in that challenge. Kobe was secondary to the challenge. The challenge was with somebody else, and then the challenge. I forget who the challenge was with. The consequence of that challenge was Kobe was there, and the guy fell on Kobe's ankle. That's how it happened. It wasn't.
But it was absolutely ridiculous.
Even with Kobe in that position, the position that he was actually in, he would have probably stopped Rodrigo's run.
Yeah,
he put himself right in the firing line, so Rodrigo probably would have just ran into him anyway, even if he would have got past the player.
Yeah,
but it is unfortunate for the kid, and we can only hope and pray. We said the same thing with Ahmad, though, didn't we?
Yeah,
that's the only thing. We can only hope and pray with these kids.
In fact, Nuruddin, that's what led to the first goal. In fact, that whole thing, we
were down actually.
That's what led to the first goal.
Yeah, listen, at the end of the day, that's what, in terms of we didn't organize ourselves quick enough to be able to deal with that. And at the end of the day, to me, it's always a criminal. I'm always like, I can only ever forgive it in preseason. Getting beat by a straight ball down the middle is the biggest criminal. It's the most criminal act in football. What you do is one attacks the ball. That's how you're coached in every level across majority of countries if you ever coached in football. The 2 centre-halves are coached. One goes for the ball, the other one gives 5. That is the basics. So that's why you hardly ever see goals like that conceded at a top level. And when it does, when it's competitive, that's what happens. So big up anyway. Tom, I'll go to you first. So what did you see, what you saw in the background? What did you see? Did you see any pattern? Did you see anything that you thought, okay, this is positive? Or is there anything that you were like, or did you just think we got humbled?
No, to be fair, like, you can have your own opinion on, the Bellingham goal, whether people say it's offside or not. For me, I thought in the Premier League, if they would have drawn the lines, it would have just probably counted. Only just because I think Wan-Bissaka was playing him on at the far side. But ever since that goal, I thought really we had a bit more control in the game. I do think we had the ball in some good areas. But the problem with us was the physicality and the intensity that Real Madrid played with, especially in the first half. They played, I think it was 4 midfielders, and they played like the diamond, did they not? Played 4 midfielders against us, and I'm thinking, you 4 midfielders when you go up against a great Real Madrid team or a great Barcelona team, you're going to struggle with the way that they play and the way that they can easily just ping the ball around you for fun, and that's what they did. Really, and then as soon as they got it to one of the attacking players, Vinicius or Rodrigo, they'll run at 3 or 4 players. And if they get hacked down, they get a free kick like they did for a couple of the chances. From what I saw anyway, I thought the way we set up and the way that I saw us play was I was happy. We was playing halfway line football, and Real Madrid, for majority of the game, they were doing what we was doing last season. Really, stay compact, stay in your unit as a shape, and we'll counter attack on you. And that's where a lot of our problems came from when we had to run back to our own goal. But I think a lot of these defenders now are I think they're learning slightly, and I know he's only been here a week, that they have that protection with Onana behind them. I think, especially for players like Wan-Bissaka or Shaw, if they take the slightest dodgy touch and then a player closes them down, no problem, lads. Andre Onana's there behind you, covering for you. And I think playing in testament to that, even in the midfield, I do think a lot of our players did have poor games. I'm not going to die and say that, but it's pre-season. And if I'm being fair and honest, apart from maybe the Arsenal game, this is the only other real competitive game we've played out of all the games on the tour. And some of these players have only just played 2 games together, Arsenal and you played against Real Madrid as a team for the pre-season. Because the other 3 games of basically Wrexham and Wrexham, Leon, and so forth have all been the kids or just a mixed bag of players. That's it. This is the first team. But I liked what I saw in some patterns where we did do a bit of good link-up play. But again, the problem, and it won't go away, until we have a number 9, why the hell we even bother crossing the ball in the box, I do not know. Because Marcus Rashford was never in a million years going to get on any header against defenders like Rudiger, David Alaba, or Eder Militao in either of the halves. It was never going to happen. Until you have a proper number 9 that knows the 18-yard box, forget it. And really, our only glimmer of hope or chance was going to probably come from a wide player, or maybe McTominay's mad run in the second half. Something like that. That was the only real way I could have seen us scoring in that game. But I liked some of the things that we showed, and we showed, I think, a small little glimpse of how Ten Hag wants to play on the halfway line, and you have Andre Onana back you up behind you. But in terms of consistency, again, as you said at the start of the stream, Ruben, pre-season for me, and I agree with you, pre-season for me, it's about building fitness. It's about getting to know the group of players that's been coming and learning their traits and their ways and personalities, and then you attack the season. I don't expect us to blow 5 past Real Madrid. I expect to see glimpses of what we can do as a team. And for me, the thing that's missing is we don't have any real backup midfielders because we brought on Eriksen for Kobe Manoo. So I think we still need another midfielder. But if it can't be as clear as day, we need a number 9. I know we've said it for a long, long time, but we need a proper number 9. None of this shite, and I know we can discuss about link-up play and everything. An 18-yard box number 9 is destined to be a success at this team. And we can say what we want about a graveyard shift. We created chances yesterday. We created chances, but there's nobody in the box to aim for. So what's the point? And just as a final point, anyway, you could see anyway that Ten Hag and you couldn't fully see Andre Onana's game because we've seen these 50, 60-yard passes to a number 9 in, all the way up to the front line. You've seen it with Inter Milan, with Dzeko in the final. 50-yard passes straight down the middle, straight down the throat of the defence and the spine of Manchester City. Who can he aim for? And that's what I mean. Marcus Rashford is never going to win a ball in the air against any of Real Madrid's centre-halves. It was never going to happen. So, really, going into the game, we were probably destined to lose based upon that we haven't completed our squad. Real Madrid, they're set. Let's be honest, they are set. Barring maybe a number 9, that's it. But for me, I liked some of the things that we saw, but I'm not too heinous on the result because if probably maybe the goal in the Premier League might have been disallowed in the first half, we were probably in the game. It would have been 0-0. We'd have been in the game. So at the end of the day, you go up against a competitive team, you win some, you lose some, and unfortunately, we were on the wrong side of it yesterday. But for me, like you say, the quality and the gulf in change of players, and I know such as Rashid's saying here with such as Eriksen and stuff, some players just, I don't think are fitting it right now on the tour. And I don't know if it's because they're lacking behind, but some of them we need to see more when we're getting towards the end of the tour. And then you get to that first game against Wolves. That's where I need to see it. But I think we saw a small blueprint and glimpse of what Erik ten Hag's trying to do. Bring back Ollie.
Listen. We got Matthias. Listen, this is every opinion, as long as it's not abusive to anybody on the panel or anybody in the chat. We show that. United, the only club that replaced Ronaldo with workers. We don't have no strike killers. It's what it is. Sorry, I don't respond. I'm on a restaurant at the moment. Listen, stop that, man. Don't apologize at all. But we'll be traveling home on Sunday, so next week available number. Listen, big up to you, Jarvis Cocker. I'll be having an amazing time, and the kids and your partner. Everybody's having a lovely time, and the family in the US. You're having it. Enjoy your holiday. We're going to release transition football. Ten Hag wants to play against this ain't sustainable. Mason Mount in number 10, Bruno on the right, shambolic. Listen, we're going to come to those talking points, but I just wanted to get gauge quickly what we think about the game. We're going to go by those point by point. At the end of the day, I'm just like, there's very strong reaction from the chat tonight, from the community tonight, in terms of nobody's holding back. But this is the podcast, people. It's real, it's raw, and it's red. That's how it is. It is raw. You know what I mean? It is real and raw and red. And that's how it is. So we bring that. To me, I never get too gassed about a preseason. I never get too down about it. Managers experimenting is about fitness. So, but it's interesting. You guys are talking like if this was like 3 points were on it, or this we got knocked out of the Champions League. It's really fascinating for me. That's what's happening. But big up to all of you. We'll be going through Earth. I'll go to you. Big up to Sean, our brother. Not spoke to a long time. Big up to Bumbaye. Yeah, man. And big up to Bumbaye, who is Red Leb. Big up Red Leb. I don't know what that means, but we'll go with it. Big up the formerly known as Bumbaye. Now it's Red Leb. Big up Red Leb. And Irfan, you watched the game. So quickly, please, so we can get around. Sum up for me what you thought about the game. And are you bothered about results and stuff like that in pre-season? Either way?
I'm not massively bothered about the result. But I won't lie. I just saw a big gulf in class between the two teams. I won't lie. You know, when I watched, the mad thing was, I thought what I'll do is, you know, it's the first game where I was like, already let me just watch it. Let me see what United is, you know, because it's a big ground, 75,000, whatever. Real Madrid. It was different to the Arsenal game, so I thought let me just go with a clear head and see what I think. But you know, I saw Bellingham, Tchouaméni, and Camavinga in their midfield with Modric, and I'm like, wow. I mean, look at that midfield. I mean, it's probably the best midfield, if not the second best midfield in the country, you know, in the world, sorry. So I was wondering how we're going to deal with that. And then, you know, you watch Camavinga, and he's like Edgar. It reminds me of Edgar Davids. The guy reminds me of Edgar Davids. He really, really does. So watching us against them, I was like, okay, wow. So I just said to myself, we because they scored early, you know, we're like when you watch us build up football. I mean, yesterday, if you analyze yesterday what happened, we had an overload at the back, so with Onana, so we could get the ball out. It's not like a hot potato at the keepers end trying to get it to each other, trying to get up the pitch. So you know we could get it out, and they played a diamond, right? So we had the chance. But because we could get the, Onana, I mean, he was the positive. He's the one positive I took from that game yesterday, but I'll get to him in a second. So what was that? Onana, yeah. Okay. Yeah, Onana. So he was the one positive. So I'll just say, so when I watched it in midfield, though, we didn't have a midfield. We had zero midfield. You know, they just bossed it. And let's say they're ahead. We're ahead of them in terms of pre-match game fitness. We're on our third, fourth game, whatever this. They're on their second, yeah. And so, but the gulf in class was huge. Now, my biggest problem, like I saw yesterday, is that we don't have a ball carrier. We don't have anyone that can take the ball up the pitch, right, and break the press. You know, once we get past it, or once you do get the ball through, where's it going to? What are you going to do with it? You got Bruno on the right, completely useless. I watched Mason Mount. I watched everything this guy does, and I told you, Nuruddin, what I said about him, what my worries were. They were confounded yesterday. All I see is a guy run. I don't see a guy do anything. I don't know what he does. I don't know what his impact in the game is, right?
He actually had a couple of good chances. If he was a bit more composed, he would have scored.
They're not chances that you look like you're going to score. They're just not, you know. We don't, again, once I just said, we don't have the guy, we don't have the ball running midfielder. You know, we have defensive midfielder. We don't have a midfielder that's going to run with the ball and get up the pitch. We don't have that guy. And then the biggest problem apart from that is the fact that we don't create chances. We're not a side that use guile And
to be fair, we still created a couple of chances, 3 chances.
Nuruddin, come on, man, please. There were no chances created yesterday. They were half chances. They weren't real chances. Look at what they had compared to us. Now, look, it is pre-season, so you could say, "Oh, fine, don't get carried away." It is pre-season, right? But I just have to say how I saw it, and everyone sees it differently. I saw it yesterday, and I saw a huge gulf class. I saw players being played out of position. It just didn't look right. I was like, wow. The only positive I can take away, and I went on all the other channels at 4:30 in the morning just to see what they were saying, and there was only one channel out of all of them that agreed with me, and that person was spot on. In my opinion, he was spot on. The rest of them were all saying, "Oh, we had all this possession, we had more possession than." I'm like, I don't know what possession means, jack shit, right? In a game, it doesn't mean anything. It depends on what you do to attack that team and create chances, and we just don't. The only positive I took from that game is that we look quite fit, right? And like I said, with Onana at the back, I was like, wow, I was buzzing because you got a guy that stands high up the pitch. I mean, he was standing, almost near the halfway line at some point, and it's like you have an extra defender on the back when you're trying to get the ball out when it's a dead ball. It's so refreshing to see that, Man United. But, my problem is look, we don't have, when you watch our build-up play, how many times did we give the ball away? How many times did the pass go astray? How many times you watch them? They're fluid. You watch us, and it's sort of like a little bit five-a-side pass, but it's not fluid. It's sort of like it's a bit headless. It's not controlled passing and movement like you watch City and Real Madrid. They naturally know where to go, and very rarely do you see these shoddy passes. With us, it's just this mishmash of players playing out of position, a few little, 2, 3, 4 passes together, and then blah, 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 and then it goes nowhere. It just breaks down. And I'm watching it, and I have to be brutal yesterday. I don't know why. I was just like, wow, we've got so much work to do with this team. We really have. And I was trying to work out, is that the players or is that Ten Hag? And to be honest with you, it's a bit of both, Nuruddin. It really is a bit of both. We are still quite a way off being that team. And this is why we just haven't got the right players. And the players we're playing, we're not playing in the right places. But like I said, Onana is my positive. Seeing that guy with the ball, I mean, he's so relaxed on the ball, this guy. I was buzzing to watch this guy. But we're not a team that's got this fluid football where everyone's moving, constantly. I mean, it annoys the shit out of me when I see Shaw run with the ball and then he has to stop because he doesn't know what to do with it next because there's nothing on. I don't like this hesitantly stop, start crap. Real teams, when they break, and everyone knows what's going on, and you see where it's all going to go. United's just stop, start. It's just, like I said, irritating to watch. And I know we look better in the second half, but they relaxed. It's a second.
They made changes as well, to be fair. But big up Irfan, thank you. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with Irfan. So I saw the game. Thankfully, it's much earlier for me than it is for you guys. I watched the full 90.
Well, it was reversed, wasn't it? We know how you feel, bro.
Yeah.
We know how you feel.
Yeah, but now
big up to all the people that are different parts of the world watching United. Last night, we felt you all. And on Sunday, we're going to feel you even more. Because that's like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
When we play Dortmund in Vegas.
Sometimes when there are games like that, some Premier League games or Champions League games, I actually don't even sleep. Like, so if there's a game like 4 a.m. in the morning on a Saturday, like morning, I might just go out Friday night and, just be out till morning so I can watch the game. But like in terms of like the summary or my feelings about the game, I kind of disagree that we were that much off. I think my takeaway was that we can compete. We spent a lot of the game in Real Madrid's half comfortably. We were able to recycle the ball, around from side to side. I think where I may agree with Irfan is that our football is still a little too deliberative. Like, it's too contemplative. Everybody's passing from one. There isn't any direction. They're not as. Whenever Madrid got the ball, they were direct. They were going straight to our goalpost. The same thing with City. They have a plan. They have a scheme. Once the ball gets to the attack, it kind of breaks down. So from my own perspective, it looks like we can compete. But kind of my issue, the thing that kind of upset me was that it seems like we're still suffering from the same problems that we had last season. And I'll say this again, whenever people talk about players who aren't stepping up, they're not talking about the real people. Because in my opinion, I still saw from Rashford 0 over 10 if he's not scoring. I still saw from Bruno wastefulness on the ball, nonsense play. I don't accept this idea that if Bruno plays on the right, he cannot contribute. To me, is laughable. You're a professional footballer. You're the captain of Manchester United. people that have come before you have been able to play on either side of the wing. Playing on the right doesn't mean that you can't complete a simple pass. So I don't take any of that. Anthony looks a bit wasteful. For me, I blame Ten Hag for playing Eriksen in instead of Manoo. Unfortunately, it's very sad for Manoo that he got injured. But I don't see what Eriksen has to offer us. And if Ten Hag still keeps on insisting on playing Eriksen, we're gonna suffer. Going forward. So, like the decision making from the players, people like Rashford, people like Bruno, very disappointed. Casemiro looks like his age. He's off the pace, off the mark. I'm a little worried about him going into the season. So when we're talking about like players who need to step up or players who aren't good enough, most of the time I don't know if people are thinking about the same people that I'm thinking about. Because in my mind, people that are not good enough, people that aren't doing what they should be doing, are people like Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, Anthony. Those are because our attack is weak. If Rashford isn't scoring, he's not contributing to our gameplay. He's not doing anything at all. Bruno, if he's not playing in the midfield, he looks like as if he's a child and he's throwing a tantrum. Anthony's wasteful on the ball. Eriksen doesn't have anything to offer us. Casemiro plays like an old man now. He's late to tackles. He's lethargic. He's late to tackles, so he ended up injuring. Could be minor, unfortunately, for us and for everyone. So yeah, I'm a little worried about like some of the same issues that existed last season are still there. And these are not issues that we can fix by signing, because some of these key players like Rashford and Bruno, need to step up. They need to also elevate their game to the next level so that they can take United forward as well.
Yeah, big up to you, man. Big up to you. Big up Red Leb. Well, how did you watch the game? And how did you see it if you watched it?
Sounds like you're struggling to say Red Leb, bro. The reason Bumbaye changed.
Come on, man. We are.
Right, so let me explain it for you and the audience. Obviously, Ali Bumbaye metamorphosized because it was from Oli Bumbaye, which harkens back to Muhammad Ali against George Foreman when the crowd in Africa started saying Ali Bumbaye. So right. I thought Oli Bumbaye. But Oli's long gone now, so it's a new dawn. And I'm a Red, and I'm Lebanese, hence Red. Right. There are some other people in the audience who used to smoke the best weed in the world, which is Lebanese Red. They will look at that with a different set of eyes. But purely, it is Red, as in Manchester fan, from the Lebanese Supporters Club. Simple.
Very good,
Red Leb.
Very good. I get it.
There you go. There you go.
Leb.
Broke it down.
Try and say it 10 times, though. Yeah.
Red Leb. Yeah.
Now
I got it now. Red Leb. Go ahead, Red Leb.
That's it. So, I didn't watch the game, but listening to between Irfan and Sean, it sounds like a relegation dogfight on our hands. So,
no, not really.
Everybody's having a mare. The players don't know what they're doing. Same old crap. It's not a good way to start a season. I didn't watch it.
People are already out. People, as Mateus and Lilas are saying, bring Oli back.
I tell you.
Football is about opinion, man. Listen, one thing, people, there's 150, 60 of you in here. Smash a like on the video. No other channel interacts with the chat as much as we do on this channel because we're a community. Our opinion's no better or superior than your opinion. This is a real community. So smash a effing like on the video. It costs you absolutely nothing. So now it should have at least 150 likes. Let's go. Go ahead, Bombay.
I've got only three quick points to make. And they're a little bit more, they're more or less what I've said before. I think Tom makes a good point. You need a striker. You can't continue like this without one. Erik ten Hag is desperate for one. He's desperate for one. And the guy we're trying to get, it's not Osimhen. So hopefully we can get him through the door. That will have a major impact on the players around him in terms of something to hit a service to. But right now, if we were crossing the ball yesterday, you do ask yourself sometimes, who to? Who to, really? And you need somebody that is a person that wants to score goals in that team from a central position. If you don't have him, then you don't have anyone to hit. You don't have anyone to play off as the guys flanking him and the guys behind him. So that'll solve some problems. I think everybody kept saying at the beginning of last season for the first 6-7 months of it, me included, let's get Declan Rice, let's get Caicedo. Now Amrabat's in the conversation. But I changed my tune with about 4 months of the season to go. I thought, actually, if we are on a budget, the priority is no longer for me a Caicedo, a Declan Rice. What we need is a player that can play football, a ball retention player, a playmaker from deep. Because what I started to find is we had some good spells in the season. There was some really good football, but we sort of reverted back to very boring football because games would get away from us on the basis that we could not hold on to the ball at all. And it became pretty boring and pretty long. We're going a bit direct. And I think the third thing is pretty simple. This is going to need a little bit of time. A couple of new players are in. We're not sure what we're going to do with a striker. Maybe he's trying a few things to see if we can compensate, see if we can. Because I think Ten Hag, for me, I didn't know him when he came in, and people touted him as a Pep Guardiola type. I don't really see that. I see a hybrid manager that has connotations within our repertoire of total football, but he seems to be a manager that adapts his team to suit the opposition that we're playing, whilst trying to impose his strengths on them. So I think we'll see Manchester United shapeshift a little bit, and it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to be able to adapt to certain teams in certain situations. So I just think we're going to need a little bit of time. Mason Mount, I've watched one half against Arsenal in this entire pre-season. That was what we talked about last week. So I can't say I'm watching Mason Mount, but when Erik ten Hag, he tried to sign him at 18 from Vitesse, scored the winning goal against Ajax, but Chelsea said, no, he's not for sale. When I think about Mason Mount, I know when the transfer came to the fore, we probably polarised here, the fans and us on the panel. I was all for it. I think it's just what we need. I see a player there, obviously might not be doing what I expect him to do, but it's early days. But I see a player that is an all-round eight. He can do a little bit of everything. He can nick a ball. He's got an engine. He's a goal scorer. He can assist, and he's a big game player. You know, he won the Champions League, and he's still very young. He's only 24. So for me, we need just to give it a little bit of time. I think we're going to get there. I think we're going to get a striker. But I do believe what I want to see from Erik ten Hag and this team ultimately this season is a top four finish, maybe a decent run in the Champions League, and maybe a trophy. But what would take precedent over the Champions League and the trophy is I want to see an element of consistency from this team and a stronger sense of ID when we play. And I think before we go into the chances, we do create chances. It's actually a myth that we don't. We're one of the most chance-creating teams in the Premier League if you go and check statistics. But the problem is...
we don't sustain them. We don't sustain them, though.
The problem is, Dino, is that you get chances, but nobody's bagging them. Even before chances...
And also, to be fair, we don't hold possession. We're one of the least in the top six. We hold the least possession in the last third.
We do. We're quite a direct team, and we're quite a counter-attacking team. Sometimes we are good at pinning teams in, but nothing's set in stone yet. But what I would say, the boys have to tighten up. We need to see more from our wide men. They have to up their game. And unfortunately, before chance creation, there's something called a good opportunity that could materialize into a chance. We have a lot of those during the course of a lot of games. And they turn to mush because the final pass is not quite there. The right pass is not quite there. This is something that if we address, we will be a lot better. And it's all about the attacking third for Man United. Defensively, we're excellent. We're very good. One of the best last season. With the advent of Casemiro, with the advent of, David De Gea had a good season, apart from mistakes. And the defense has really improved. Everybody in there has improved. So we're resilient. We can stand up against pressure. We've had to a lot. Usually we fold. So I think just a few things, a few tweaks, and a bit of time. 2 months into this season, 2 to 3 months into this season, I'm hoping to start to see the tide change and us to be a little bit more happy with what we're seeing on a weekly basis.
Yo, big up. Listen, big up, Mbaye. Listen, honestly, I'm quite shocked and surprised. I'm usually the one that everybody's telling to calm down. It's quite reserved tonight. It's like a reverse that. I watched about 80 minutes. Yeah, I watched the game about 80 minutes. Big up to everybody in the chat. Please let me know we're still on 100 likes. We're 150 people watching. We're not on 100 likes. That's an absolute, like I said to you, I'm just here doing the chat, controlling the chat, and also hosting the show. This is the least you could do. the least you could do is smash a light. It costs you absolutely nothing. So let me know, Nick Nash and people like Be Safe, how many likes we've got. Big up to everybody. Love and light. I want to ask the question, actually. I want to stay with you, Bumbaye. Bruno last night started on the right for 60-something minutes. Well, he played, around 60 minutes. He played on the right side. When Manchester United have spent, even though it is pre-season, but we spent about 100-something on like left wingers, so right wingers. Pellistri can play there, Ahmad can play there, Anthony can play there, Sancho can play there. Obviously, Sancho's playing this false nine business, which is mad to me. And people think we can start the Premier League with that.
He's better than Rashford at doing it. No, he's better than Rashford in that position. I'll tell you that now.
Yeah. Rashford is just Rashford, because I don't think Rashford wants to play there. So he's got no thing. He's not enthused by it. He said it. I've watched the thing the other day. He said he doesn't enjoy playing up there. He doesn't.
So what are you asking me here, bro? Are you saying why are we watching Bruno on the right hand side when Ten Hag has spent 85 million on Anthony and we've spent another 20 or 30 between Ahmad and Pellistri? I think it's a fair question. And if things don't start to improve and the players don't start to play well, then questions will be we can start to ask questions of the manager. It's just very simple. But Bruno, I think, has done well on the left in some games. Not all games. Sometimes he's been anonymous, but there are some games where I think we all saw like, oh, it worked. He did really well today. But when you decide you want to pay 85 million for Anthony, and he's fit to play.
No. Listen, listen. I'm saying to you, next season. I'm not talking about this in this preseason. Preseason, the manager can experiment and can do different things because it's.
I'm talking about the current season, bro. If that's what he's to do. Then you'll have to look at it and think, like, what the hell is going on? Look, I think Anthony is a good player. I think, I have to give him his season free hit. Was it a disastrous season? No, it was at about a 6 out of 10 for me. That's what I'd say. Now, Sancho's on his second season. If Anthony does, another season of what he did last year, it's not going to be acceptable and good enough. When you're playing up front as part of the top three at Manoo, you've got to be giving us some goals, some assists, some involvement. His work rate is very good. He doesn't lose the ball very often. And I like his courage to keep trying. He doesn't stop trying. That's one thing I do like. Some players, like Sancho, sometimes they get a little bit deterred, head goes down a bit. The ability is there, but the mentality has to be a little bit stronger, a little bit better. So I think this season, hopefully, will be Anthony's year. And I don't know what's going to happen with Jadon. I mean, he's a good player, but again, I think he's got a mental block, that kid. And his game, for me, I've always said it's a little bit JJB. There is the early right pass before we get our head down. Do that pass and move.
Who's that?
There's too much. Jadon Sancho, he dilly-dallies a little bit too much for me.
But guys,
he's actually.
No, I just want to quickly say, I don't think it's wrong of the manager for tactical reasons to ask Bruno Fernandes to play on the right, or to ask Rashford to play as a striker, or to ask Rashford to play on the right. I don't think there's anything wrong with the manager for tactical reasons doing that. I have a problem with these players deciding that personally they are too good, too senior, too advanced in their careers, too set in their ways to not do what the manager says, because that is what is happening. It's simply Rashford deciding that himself personally he doesn't like playing on this position, so if the manager plays him there, he's not going to turn up. Or Bruno deciding that he doesn't like to play on this position, so if the manager plays him there, he's not going to turn up. Now, if the manager sees that happening often and keeps doing it, then he has a problem. But in a game against Madrid where you want to pack the midfield, there's nothing wrong in saying let's have an extra midfielder on the right. Managers do that all the time. Fergie used to do it. Fergie against Barcelona played 4-5-1, played Rooney, Park, and Tevez in midfield, and played Ronaldo up front. There's nothing wrong in asking your players to sacrifice themselves and play for the team. But that's what I'm saying. I have issues with it.
But you have to make it work, though. You have to make it work.
You have to make it work.
Wait a second, Sean. Wait a second. What I don't understand about your point is, right, you're saying that, okay, these players, the Man United players, the boss puts them in that position, they've got to play it. But you really, really think that's the reality of how these egomaniac footballers of today? Do you think they think that? Do you think they're actually thinking, "Oh yeah, I'll do one for the team"? I know in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, it used to be a thing where that was expected. But we're talking about a different breed of footballer today.
I agree with you about that, Irfan. And for me, when Ten Hag first came, my number one goal or objective from Ten Hag was to establish a meritocracy. Make it such that everybody who's playing is playing because they deserve to play. That's the only way you imbibe that kind of spirit in those players. I promise you, if Pep Guardiola asks Jack Grealish to play left back, he will play left back and he will play the best possible left back position as in play he can possibly do. Because in Guardiola's team, everybody who starts is starting because they deserve to start.
But Sean, but you've just given me a deeper statement of why Man City are the greatest team around at the moment and why we're an average team. Because I believe that they have got that mentality where he asked him to Jack Grealish to play left back, he'll do it.
No, but that's because
that's what the vibe I get from Man United. I don't get that vibe.
Unlike Ten Hag, Pep is not afraid to bench his key players. There were times last season where Rashford deserved to be benched, where Bruno Fernandes, because they hit a rough patch of form. It's football. You get to a 3-game, 4-game run, you're not doing your best, but we refuse to bench these guys. You should be able to say, hey, Mr. Bruno, hey, Mr. Rashford, if you're not doing exactly what I want from you, you're going to sit down on the bench. It's not only about coming late to training or coming late to team meetings. And that's just my issue with Ten Hag. I think he's making the same mistakes that maybe Ole made by having favorites.
One second.
On this one, yeah.
Just 1 second. Nick Nash, Martial is still injured from last season's hamstring.
Yeah.
Seriously, he is. He's still injured from last season's hamstring. Big up to Nick Nash, by the way. He said, tell me how many likes we're on, people. We're nearly on 200 people, 200 of you in here, and we're still on 70 likes. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. He's still injured from last season. At the end of the day, to me, I'm not going to go too hard on the manager on this because it's still pre-season. But if he starts playing Bruno on the right, without actually putting in properly and making it work so Bruno actually contributes to the team, then it's gonna question needs to be asked, like Bumbaye said, 100%.
I think. Sorry, Tom. I apologise. I think Nuruddin, you kind of hit this on the head. I think we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves saying things like that about Ten Hag with regards to the players. If Bruno goes on the right and it happens a couple of times, that's fine. But if it doesn't work, then it's not fine. Because a manager lives and dies by his decisions. It's that simple.
Yeah, but Mr. Redleb, I wish you watched yesterday's game. I really wish you did. I wish you saw them and us. Because, look, I mean, I know it's a friendly, but you're still playing a team that if you're a professional footballer, you're like, even if it's a friend, you're like, right, okay, this is my chance. Because we've got half a team that's wondering whether it's going to stay or go. So this was the chance that I thought that United would really show up and really show. And like I said, United look like a fit team. United do not look like a footballing team yet.
No, and the one thing that I took anyway from yesterday was the athleticism that Real Madrid had in that midfield. I mean, it was second to none, really, in comparison to us. Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Modric, Kroos, these guys, age doesn't matter. Age is just a number.
Mendy, Rudiger.
The actual athletic, Rudiger, Militao, the list can go on for endless. With us, we don't really have that sort of athleticism. And as soon as I saw Jude Bellingham, Tchouaméni, Camavinga and Modric, I thought, forget the midfield.
Yeah,
you might as well just play it out wide. And that's what we did pretty much most of the game. But you're limiting yourself by playing out wide because if you don't have a number 9 in the box, all you're going to do is dribble inside. And really, Garnacho had, say, Carvajal on strings, and that's really the only thing that we were leading the light of, was something like that. And then, in the second half, you had, a McTominay who's really a human battering ram. He'll run through anything in a brick wall for you, and he went on a mad run and he nearly scored. But aside from that, there wasn't really anything that sprung out to think that it's perfect or there was enthusiasm there from the players.
Go on, Mackin.
I get Sean's point in terms of where he said about that, that you can pick players to play in those positions, but if they don't actually perform, then it falls back on the manager. Well, yeah, but even if you want to pull those players out, like Rashford's, Fernandez's, who do you put in there for them? This is the problem. Rashford last season, you couldn't really pull him out. And if you pulled him out, everybody was sitting there twiddling their thumbs and panicking, thinking, who's going to score? Because we didn't have a clinical goal scorer last season. Fernandes, you take him out of the team from last season, who's going to create the chances? Eriksen's can blow hot or cold. Casemiro's not a creative player. And then you're relying on Fred McTominay, and we've heard that story before. And again, you're at where we're at now, where you have quite a few creative players. Fernandes is, Mounts, but the problem is, if you don't have a number 9 to actually work with or aim off of, you're not going to win. And unless you have a complete team of footballers and technical footballers, like Manchester City had, then you can play and use a false 9 if you have technical players. But we don't have a full set of 11 that are technical players. That's the problem with us. And I think it shows really when your goalkeeper, ultimately, we can say it for what it is with Andre Onana, on the ball and under pressure is better than a lot of our midfielders, really. In terms of beating a press or being press resistant, because a lot of our players, I think they buckle. I think they do buckle. But, like we've said, lads, it's a pre-season friendly. It's pre-season. You've still got, like you say, 3 more games to go. You've got, obviously, with the game with Dortmund, you've got Lens, and then we've got another game I can't remember who we're playing against. And then, like you say, we're back at OT to play Wolves. So, look, when we get to the Wolves game, if we see Bruno out on the right wing and it doesn't work out and everything, criticise the manager. It's a competitive game. You've got something actually riding on it. Right now, this is where I don't mind him playing Bruno on the right and trying things. This is what pre-season's about. Try things. Throw youngsters in there like you did with Kobe Manoo and see how they react against playing against some... I would have said anyway, I think that's the best midfield that's in world football right now. Me personally, in terms of athleticism, because I think they boss everybody off the field. And the best phrase that I can use it is Manchester City slapped these lot up 4-0 in a proper competitive game. 4-0. That's the team that absolutely bossed us in midfield for that majority of that game yesterday. Really. Barring if you take Jude Bellingham out of the line, that's the same team. And we, as we say before, with the actual quality and players that we have, we've got a lot of potential. And that's all I ever hear with United is potential. Really, you can argue about world-class players.
FC.
Yeah, that's what we do. We've got potential. And Nurid, look at it from this perspective.
And we're always rebuilding, have you noticed?
We're always rebuilding. We're always replenishing. And even when you look at it, even players that we've been bringing in, I can't really remember a player that we've brought in that's been world class, really.
Nope.
Or he's on that peripheral. You've got players that can be that. Martinez, you can say world class or not. But look, there's potential for some of our players.
Class at all. Martinez will 2-foot you, mate. 2-foot you, Nanny, no problem.
We did it to Bellingham in the game.
He did it to Bellingham. Yeah. That's the thing, though, as well. And I think just last point, Nurid, anyway, I think one thing that I like from this team compared to last season's team is there's a lot more characters there. That's the one thing that I do like. Like even players like Mason Mount and stuff, they like a bit of aggression. They like get stuck in, have a bit of a tackle. Yeah, he's not a Scott McTominay who, is going to human battering ram or anything like that. But listen, he's a lad that will get stuck in for you. And even amongst that, we say it all the time is, I remember when we were on that derailing season with Ollie and Ragnick, I didn't see any warriors. I didn't see any players that, for me as a manager coming in, I thought any of those players would have ran through a brick wall for me. I think from that era to now, really, there is a lot more of those players that will do a job for the manager. But for me, anyway, personally, I think you can go into the Dortmund game, you can go into the Lens game, you can go into the final pre-season game, and if you don't have a number 9, I don't really see what else different I'm going to see. I don't really see it.
So Ten Hag
just comment on Tom.
Listen, make it quick. Then Sean go. Then make it quick, both of you.
That midfield yesterday. If City play them again, I don't think it'd be the same game as last season.
No, absolutely.
No way will that be the same game.
No.
Actually, it was really fascinating last night because they played on a transition. They scored that goal early. And then they just played counter-attack football.
That's their strength, though. They don't have a Benzema anymore. They don't have a number 9. So
their problem is they haven't got a striker near it. They haven't got that focal point of Benzema anymore. That was the only weakness.
Well, it's going to be interesting when Mbappe goes. So is Vinicius Junior going to go to the right then and drop Rodrigo on the
No.
bench?
I think he might play Mbappe down the middle.
No,
Mbappe,
Mbappe
Rodrigo.
doesn't like him.
And...
Mbappe is on record saying he doesn't like playing down the middle.
No,
I mean,
if you're playing in
Nuruddin,
false nine, though,
Nuruddin's
rather
crazy.
than
It's crazy to
number
think,
9.
yeah, that they had Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Modric, Kroos, and their main guy, really, ask any Madrid fan, is Valverde. And Valverde didn't do anything in the second half.
Valverde, I did. Do you know what? I've completely forgot that he was even a player for
you
them.
wouldn't have believed
That's
his
how
playing.
much quality they have.
That's how much quality. And he's their main guy, and he did nothing. He looked off it yesterday. But I got to give it to you. Look, Palestri keeps showing signs to me that he should be getting more game time. He keeps showing that he should be playing, but
low
I don't know
sense of
why.
He's
gravity.
going on loan, though. He's going on loan. It's already been decided he's going on loan.
Really? Oh my God, that's a mistake. It's a mistake if you ask me.
Yeah.
You know,
Listen,
I feel
pick up
sorry
everybody.
for Garnacho yesterday, but Garnacho gets no support. What's he supposed to do? Take on 5 players and put it into the box? You know, you need support.
Listen,
So
big
I
up to
feel sorry
everybody.
for him and Palestri, I really do.
Yeah, big up everybody. Listen, let's quickly move on to the next topic. Kobe Manu has become one of the best players, and the whole fan base is excited about him. Obviously, he got injured yesterday. What have we thought about him so far? I said I don't want to put the kiss of death on him. I don't want to talk about it. But can somebody please let me know how many likes we got on the video? Lilas, let me know how many. Have we got 100 likes yet? Have we got 100 likes? 200 people in here. Have we got 100 likes yet? That's justice, because I've literally clicked on every chat tonight. Every chat. That's what we're doing. Big up Jason Guardiola. Big up. We're still pouring possession. We are. But so I want to just quickly ask you about what did you think of Manu? And I was like, don't put the kiss of death on it. The whole fan base does that. They put the kiss of death on it. The kid gets injured after 3 minutes.
I mean, you could say that.
So somebody said, I think somebody made the chat said that we're relying on an 18-year-old. This is one of my favorite chats, actually. Big up to Jabaz. Jabaz said, Nuruddin, this midfield is so unbalanced. There's touch chaos, not enough control, press resistance. We missed an 18-year-old. Exactly. This is what we become now. Manchester United love themselves a savior. As a football club, since the Glazer owners, especially in the last mad 10 years, we have become a football club in terms of fan base where we love a savior, but then we also love a villain, somebody to scapegoat. We love scapegoats and we love saviors. So is he our new savior? That's the question. I'll go to Mumbai quickly and then we'll go around because we're going to end the show quick. We've done an hour. I want to try to keep this podcast to an hour. So go ahead, Mumbai. Have you seen anything of Kobe Mane? Have you seen anything? Obviously, we talked about him a long time ago on this channel, but we didn't want to put the kiss of death on him. We wanted to keep him humble, keep it just relaxed, and all of a sudden, there you go.
I think, look, these things like he's an understudy. To me, he's just a young lad. Just let him be a young lad and let Eric Ten Hag just use him wherever he thinks he can give him minutes, and hopefully he shines. Maybe he can impose himself on the team. Nothing really more than that. He's not an understudy to anybody. To me, he's just a young lad who's broken through. We've seen many young lads break through and then disappear. He won't be the first if it happens, but God willing, it won't happen. You know, he seems like a good lad, grounded, down to earth. Just let him be a young lad. Don't put any labels on him. Don't put any silliness on him. Just let Eric Ten Hag do his thing with him. And maybe we've got a player there.
Listen, big up. The club's still not having a striker, Bombay. I'll stay with you quickly. It's just jokes, innit? It's absolutely comedy, FC. Like Manchester United, we're 2.5 weeks away from the season starting, and Manchester United do not have a striker. It's absolutely shocking to me. And then people are on this kind of toxic positivity. I just don't fucking get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. I'm like, I genuinely think sometimes, am I living in a different universe? What am I living in? Manchester United do not need just one striker. We need fucking 2.
I think, look, I'm pretty certain we are going to get a striker, and it really looks like it's going to be Højlund. I'm pretty sure we're going to get him.
The youngster's not even played 30 games, 40 games in his career.
Red Lev, you just said 2 things. You said, first you said I'm pretty certain, then you said I'm pretty sure. Which one are you saying?
It's the same thing, certainty, sure. I'm put on both and make it times 10 if you like. We're going to get a striker. I think it's going to be Højlund. And then when you get a striker, naturally, a player that wants to score goals, that has that instinct, I'm hoping that Rashford will get better, Anthony will get a little bit better, Sancho will get better, Bruno will get better, because they'll have something to hit. I think Højlund at 6'2", he seems like he can move. He's not, a lanky, tall street kind of guy. He can move. He's strong. And his goal scoring record is okay, is decent. Italy's not an easy place to bang goals in. I think we get him. I'm hoping things will really improve, but we do need to get somebody in. It's impossible to start a season without one.
Yeah, big up to you, bro. But it's absolute joke. I'll go to you quickly, Fan. The Kobe Manoo is says here. I'd rather this 18-year-old than age midfield Casemiro and Eriksen. Yeah. I mean, it's pre-season, guys. Don't read too much into pre-season. When the season starts, we will see. When 3 points are on it, we will see. And here, we're raw, we're red. You know what I mean? And we're red, we're raw, and we're real. We always keep it real here on this podcast, people. So trust me, we don't hold back. We don't do things to be because we have to back the manager. No, the manager needs to be criticized. We'll fucking criticize the manager. If any player needs to be criticized, it needs to be criticized. We don't turn this into a personal thing. It's just a football. It's what we see. But go ahead, Irfan, quickly, the striker. And Kobe Manoo, what are you saying about Kobe Manoo? Or have you watched any of the games?
We went to the FAU Cup final and we saw Garnacho do the business. And when the other standout player on the pitch was Kobe Manoo. You know, he was a standout player. The composure he showed, and like I said, it was so gutting that he got injured so early in the game when I just wanted to see what it was like against Bellingham and Tchouameni and Camavinga and Modric. I wanted to see what it was like, and it really fucked things up for us United fans yesterday. Because the game, the one thing we wanted to see, I wanted to see, most of us wanted to see, was that battle, to see how we'd cope with it, to see if we had another play in the making. So it's tough. And he was hurt badly because he tried to stay on, he tried to massage it, but he landed, he fell on it. So that was a bummer. That was a real irritation, that was. But look, regarding the striker, I'm a bit different about the striker, Nuruddin. You know, I know we need one, but my problem is like, we also need loads and loads of practice training about how to feed a striker, how to create chances for a striker, because I don't see us doing that.
But Irv, we need somebody who can play there and who is almost like a central thing that we can play off.
I know.
It's only through playing and Ten Hag getting time on the training ground to be able to get the ball into the striker. But the fact that we don't have a striker and we're trying Rashford, who you can tell he didn't want to be there. He didn't want to be there last night. You can tell Rashford's body language.
Answer me his question, right? What was it smart to do? Was it smart to buy Mason Mount first, or was it smart to buy Haaland first? What was it?
Listen, at the end of the day, the Mason Mount thing is on Ten Hag. But the biggest thing for me is that they didn't have the money for the striker. So I don't know where.
So why did you buy Mason Mount? Why did you buy Mason Mount when you could have bought Haaland first?
Irfan, let me say this. The way that it works at Manchester United is that we loan the money from banks. That's why we never buy players in June. We might agree, but we don't actually sign players in June because the way it works out is that we loan the money from the banks. And it's tied to the fucking New York Stock Exchange. So we don't operate like a normal football club. So I don't know.
So
he wanted Mason Mount. Listen, Mason Mount is on Ten Hag. Like I said, managers live and die by those type of decisions. He might come good. He might not come good, right? It will always be on the manager.
I'm not questioning Mason Mount yet, although I told you I don't rate the guy. But I'm just saying, surely the thing was to get the striker before you get Mason Mount.
No,
surely
but this club cannot chew gum and walk at the fucking same time. I've seen it for 10 years. And these dickheads tell me murder madness with his toxic fucking positivity. What the fuck are you talking about? We negotiate. We can never negotiate 3 or 4 different transfers. We can't. We work one at a time like fucking slugs. And our CEO, let me fucking repeat to all the toxic positivity crew, our CEO is on record. The CEO, the man who's making the decisions at Manchester United right now, is on record saying to people, we like the transfer speculation because it gives us more interactions on our social media. That is the type of fucking club we are. Right, I'll go to you quickly, Tom. Striker, are you Bummer? Let me just get this question, by the way. Really interesting. It says, big up Yumeke. He says, Nuruddin, please, one question. Ten Hag never played a transitional football to the fullest before now. Please, how can we trust him to be able to sort of carry it out? Well, it's going to be wait and see, FC, bro. I'm scratching my... Listen, I think he put that out there as a throwaway comment. I genuinely don't think he thinks we're going to be just transitional. Because you can't. Because it's going to be teams at Old Trafford who's going to give up the ball and go, who's going to give us the ball and go, we're going to defend anyway. Not everybody's going to come and press the hell out of us. So we're going to have to be a possession-based team as well. He said we're going to mix it up. If you listen to that answer, he actually said we're going to play different ways, ability to play different ways. So I doubt it very much, but I see it. I think so. At times last night we moved the ball well. We with Onana becoming like an extra kind of defender in terms of like him being playing like an extra defender close to the centre halves and the fullbacks. We got out of the press really quickly. They pressed us in a certain ways, and we beat the press. So, for me, it's going to be more than that in midfield for me. We need to be able to dictate the ball. And that's the question. We need people who can dictate the ball, people who are press resistant. And like I said, it's pre-season. So I don't get too high and I don't get too low. But if we played last night like that in the first, the second, or the third game, I'm going to come on here and lose my fucking shit. And you know when I lose my shit? Because I can't accept that mediocrity. But it wasn't. It was a pre-season, and we need to chill out about it. We need to calm down.
I'm hoping we have. Now I hope we do play like shit. I want to see that. I've missed it.
No. Listen, nobody's here for that. Big up to everyone. Listen, I'll go to you, Tom, quickly. So, what do you think about the striker, non-striker being here? We're run by Glazers. This is Glazonomics.
Of course it is. And if we're being honest and fair, right? If the situation with Mason Greenwood wouldn't have happened, we wouldn't be buying a striker right now. We would not be buying a striker right now because Mason Greenwood would be the number 9. That's what the club would impose on Erik ten Hag. He's the future number 9 of this football club, so you can use him. So right now we wouldn't even be chasing one. All this shite about Kane, Osimhen, Højlund, whoever, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. And even if you bring in Højlund, for example, the guy's got 24 professional goals. 24 professional. He's 20 years old. And you're telling me that he's going to lead the line for Man United? And at any stage in any career, I honestly can never think, apart from maybe Manchester City, because it suited the way they played at the time with Pep, I can't remember any team that has ever started a Premier League season without a designated number 9. Either one that's fit or one that's actually a number 9. There's a trivia question for anybody in the comments. Name me a team that started a Premier League season without a number 9. Because I honestly can't think of one right now.
Well, Man City, but Man City
that's what I mean. But Man City are the exception to the rule. Yeah. They've won everything without one, and we knew that they were going to win more with one. But even in saying this, like you say, until we get the number 9, we ain't going to score many goals. That's what I'm saying. And in terms of Onana, you're lacking what he can actually do.
Big up, big up Windy Airfan. That's your answer. But go ahead, Tom. Carry on.
Yeah.
No, that's no. I read that, but that's not an answer. That's not what. There's no logic to that at all. Hang on, Mason Mount's available. Okay, we'll buy him. We need a striker, but we'll go and buy him. It doesn't make any sense. Just because someone's available, you don't have to go and buy him.
Yeah.
No,
I think though the way that probably Ten Hag was looking at it was because when he come into it, I don't think Højlund would have been his number 1 coming into this. Even if he knew that the budget was going to be tight, I think Harry Kane's the one that you need to go for, and he's the one that I think Ten Hag wanted. But when they knew that the price was going to blow them out of the water, and that would have probably been the only player that they might have got, then they obviously had to change different targets. You had the same situation. David De Gea pissed off and left you, or you didn't give him a contract or whatever. So then we have to then prioritise a goalkeeper ahead of a number 9. And then even in saying that, I think the way that we've dealt with Chelsea and Inter Milan, I think dealing with those clubs is a lot easier than dealing with Højlund. And the reason why I say that is Mount and Onana are established players. We do not know what Højlund is going to do wherever he goes after Atalanta. It could be a flop. It could be the next one up. We just don't know. Whereas at least with Mason Mount, you've seen it a couple of seasons at Chelsea what he can do. Onana, you've seen it a couple of seasons at Ajax, Inter for one season, what he can do. With this Højlund kid, they're going to want to milk this for, till the cows come home, really. 100%. And I think the only reason why we didn't bring him in first was probably because that other clubs were sniffing around Onana and Mount. And if we would have just stuck right now and tried to get Højlund, he might have been the only player that we'd have had on the tour. And this midfielder would have probably been chasing. So I think the way we've done it is good because we've got more players on the tour. Obviously, we'd like all the players on the tour, but we've got more players on the tour than maybe just having the number 9. But when certain situations happen, like we went on the tour without a goalkeeper, a number one goalkeeper. Like that's bad enough. That it can never happen where a club can go on a pre-season without a goalkeeper.
First choice goalkeeper, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. How can you implement how you want to play or anything without that? So priorities take over priorities, unfortunately. But
well, at the end of the day, and this is the thing about Haaland as well. He's a kid. It would have been easy to get him in, to integrate him into the club, into the
and look at it from this.
Nuruddin,
look at it from this perspective. You bring Haaland in along that front line. Who's actually the most experienced player out of our front players? Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford is the most experienced out of those front players.
And it's out there in terms of striker.
Yeah, this is why we need two strikers. I mean, 100%. Get Haaland now, and if Kane's still there, do a deal for next summer, or Tony or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Listen, I'll go to Sean quickly. I just want to go to Sean quickly. Go ahead, Mumbai. What did he say?
I'm just asking the question. Like, I'm thinking about world strikers at the minute, guys. Who's out there, other than your Harry Kane? Its pickings are pretty slim, I think.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, listen, it's pickings or not. They're out there. You just need to find them. And we don't get employed. We don't get paid $100,000 a year to be able to not find them. Scouts get paid a lot of money.
You lads watch football.
Listen, we watch football, but we don't watch all leagues and everything. I'm sorry, Bombay. The club, listen to me. I reject what you're saying. I reject what you're saying because you're saying that we, the fans, have to know. People are getting paid a lot of fucking money to go and scout players, and to bring players potentials.
I get that, bro. I do understand that. I get that. But, usually you can think, we can, we got this player, that player, let's go for him, let's get him. From us sat here now, we're talking on the presumption that there is some hidden gem that we're not finding. But let's look at what the world can see.
Other clubs find them. Other clubs find them.
Bro, if we were to stick to this, like, I'm asking you, lads, we're talking about a guy called Haaland. We've got our reservations. Now, what's out there, really? Think about us. We're Man United. Everybody knows we need a striker. Who's available? Who can you get? Anyone that sells a striker has to go and find another striker. He seems to be an important fixture in Atalanta, this kid. So who's out there? I'm looking around. I'm thinking the only thing I can think of really was Muani, who is, sort of okay, maybe. And Kane. I can't really think of anyone else. Is there anything out there that really attracts you guys that we should be looking at?
Yeah, He's called Osman, yeah.
Listen,
it's out your price range. He's out of everyone's price range. You can't get him.
So then you got to caveat what you're saying. You have to say who's cheap that's available out there. That's what you got to say. Who's
realistic? I'm talking on the basis that we actually all agree we have a situation here. It's called a financial situation. I was kind of thinking that's a foregone knowledge. So on that basis, you're looking, okay, 50, 60 million. It's decent for a centre forward. Okay. Maybe you push to 70. What we got available? What's out there?
Listen, at the end of the day, Manchester United made record revenues last season. I'm not hearing about this money budget bullshit. That fans have been brainwashed by these fucking journalists who are fucking sonographers. They're not journalists. They're fucking sonographers. They're spreading propaganda. They're spreading Glazer fucking propaganda. I am not fucking listening to that. Sean, striker. Yeah. Why is a club like Manchester United do not have a fucking striker? We need fucking two.
I would hope that based on my comments about the game earlier and some of my comments on the channel in general, no one mistakes me for a toxic, quote unquote, toxic positivity fan. But I do believe that from all the evidence, it looks like the club has been negotiating multiple deals at the same time. I think the reasons why some of these deals might take longer than the other, who knows? I think these things are a lot more complicated than many fans want to.
Only Manchester. Listen, Liverpool. So why is it not complicated for other football clubs like Liverpool, like Chelsea? Why is it not complicated?
No. So
they sell players. Players. They can get rid of them. Man City get rid of players, then buy players. So why can't we do it? What's going on?
Because
what's the common denominator, Sean?
No, like let me explain, Nuruddin. Because we are, quote unquote, Manchester United. We are not the same as Chelsea. We are not the same club as Man City. We are not Liverpool either. We are a very unique beast. Manchester United as a football club. We are a publicly traded entity. We are the flagship club of English Premier League football. If you remember, almost a couple of 6 months ago or whatever, I told you when this Qatar sale, whatever came up, I said it would be extremely difficult for us to close this transaction, number one. Number two, I'll be very surprised if it was easy for the Premier League to agree to selling the crown jewel of English football to the Qataris. So let's just keep that at the back of our minds. I also agree with Bumaya about the financial challenges. I don't think it's entirely propaganda. I think the club has definitely been mismanaged in the past. The management could have been better, or whatever. But I think the truth of the matter is there is a cash flow problem as a result of financial fair play, number one. And secondly, because as any owner would believe, if you're about to sell your assets, you're not going to invest. You're not going to continue to invest, funds into an asset that you're about to sell, despite the fact that the club is spending. So I would expect us to sign Højlund. I think also if we listen to Ten Hag, listen to what the manager is saying. Every time he speaks, I'm very impressed because I think he says the kind of things that I want to hear. And I'm happy to hear that the manager understands that he's working with certain handicaps. And instead of whining and complaining, he's coaching the players and trying to do the best with what he has. Now, obviously,
can you guys hear me? 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
We can hear you. Yeah, I think you have to reconnect for a while, but we can hear you. So I'm very confident. I'm not more than sure. I'm confident that we're going to get a striker. I'm very confident we're going to get a striker in. I don't expect, also, like, it depends on what you expect. So I don't expect us to win the Premier League this season. I don't expect us to win Champions League. I want us to make progress. I want us to build a sustainable legacy. I don't want one in, one out, up this year, down this year. I want us to build a sustainable legacy for us to become the club that I remember when I grew up. And that involves signing some young players, spending money on building a team. So I'm happy to have Højlund in. I'm happy to have him learn, make mistakes, be number one. And we've seen the reports. Ten Hag himself has come out to say he likes. So whether or not we like Anthony Martial as fans, the manager likes him. The manager clearly intends to use Martial when he can. That's fine with me. The manager clearly intends to use Sancho as a kind of like false nine. Whatever the manager wants to do, I support the manager and I support him in his decision making. So I just think that, because and again, like you guys say, we lost our first two league games. We dropped 6 points at the beginning of the season. If we have the bare minimum, if we can pick up those 6 points plus have the same season that we had last year, pick up 6 points here, win some games that we drew because we now have a striker, we're looking at second place or a kind of title charge that fizzles out towards the end of the season, which I'm fine with. Let's build towards the future. I fully expect us to sign a striker and another midfielder. And as far as I'm concerned, that's a decent transfer window to me.
I like that.
Listen, first of all, I'll say this. It's laughable that you talk about financial fair play. Financial fair play is not worth the paper it's written on. It's an absolute fucking joke. Every other fucking club takes the facade. So only Manchester United are supposed to follow the rules. It's absolutely Glazer propaganda. And what you did, Sean, there, very, very clever. I'll give it to you. The Glazers will love a flipping somebody like you.
No, that's what I said.
You made an absolute brilliant argument for the Glazers.
You can work for them, no problem.
Making it out like Manchester United, the only biggest fucking club. We're only the biggest club in the world. And of course, everybody else gets treated differently.
We are.
No, we don't. No, we don't. Manchester United have had a culture where bankers were fucking running and playing Football Manager. We are that still. Banker who's in charge of Manchester United at this current moment says it himself. Go and look it up. Simon Stone interview. We like the social media interactions. We like transfer speculations. And that's what we live on. They absolutely strangle
in 2023.
They strangle any sort of joy out of every transfer signing. And Manchester United were never like that. Under Fergie, because Fergie was in charge of it all, we would bam, bam, 2 players come, Vidic, Evera come, bang, Rio Ferdinand next minute, bang, Rooney, bang. Rooney was supposed to go to Newcastle. That's what Manchester United used to move.
Used to be, yeah.
In 2023. Every single corporate branch relies on social media.
Chelsea like that now. City like that now. A lot of the teams are like that now.
For Liverpool. Look at McAllister. They find out that he's got a He's got what's
Clause,
it? He's
clause.
got a contract thing where he's got he's cheap. He's got what's
buyout
the word?
clause. Buyout clause.
Yeah, buyout clause. Bang.
Yeah.
70 million for that kid from Hungary, the Hungarian captain. Bang.
I mean, didn't City negotiate for Kane till the end of the season, the end of the window? They didn't get him. Isn't Chelsea
you know
still
what they did, and you know
negotiating
what they said?
for
You know what they
Caicedo
said?
right now?
You know what they said? They said, you know what? He's not worth 130 million.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not buying him. See you
We're
later.
not
Goodbye.
buying
Like a big club. They moved. They
They
moved.
move on. And
They
look what they
moved
got
on.
instead. Look what they got instead.
Last season, Manchester United were still fearing until the last day. Oh, Frankie de Jong could be done. It was a laughing stock. It was an absolute laughing stock. Don't even get me started, Sean.
I'm amazed you're not more cynical like we are, Sean. I'm amazed.
No,
I'm amazed where you get this from. I'm absolutely. You talk like a spokesperson from a client journalist for the Glazers. That's what you sound like.
No.
Yeah.
I think. Let me just put it like this. I think.
Sean, let's give the money back we took, me and you.
from the Glazers, right? Yeah, no, I mean, because like as far as I'm concerned, the Glazers can go. I am more interested on, and again, this is a running theme. My overall arching theory of football is that what goes on the pitch for a player, only about 30% of it has to do with your ability. The remaining 70% is mindset, mentality. So before anything comes in, I'm wondering what kind of players do we have? What kind of characters do we have? What do we enable as fans? What do we excuse as fans? What do we allow them to get away with? What standards do we hold these guys to when they're playing? What do we ask of Rashford or Fernandes and the likes? I'm also willing to include complexity into the discussion. So I don't think it's as simple as, oh, bam, you want this player, pay your money and buy him. I think we've moved smarter during this transfer window. Definitely.
Okay, fair enough. Listen, you know what? That's an opinion. That's a fair opinion.
No, I disagree.
The idea where you say to me, listen to me. No, Irfan, let me say that.
Yeah, we all
can have
disagree.
that opinion. Sean can have that opinion. But where you tell me Manchester United are something different on the football clubs is an absolute hot wash propaganda BS. Our CEO says we literally make money. And we're all we do is about media exposure.
So does every other club nowadays, I promise you.
Shirt. We're trying to sell one of the worst shirts I have ever seen in my life. Manchester United put out, where we're trying to sell that, and now we want everybody to wear. We're giving it away. Anybody who turns up, anybody in this talk, grab a shirt. Make sure you get it on social media. It's an absolute joke. We are laughing stock. But you can have the opinion and go, in the last 10 years, the way we moved, we're negotiating hard for these players. You can say that. I think...
No, I did not say that. I said this summer. I think this summer we negotiated better.
That's why I said this summer, compared to what the last horrendous 10 years, that was a log of shit.
Yes.
Right? Absolute pile of shit. So you could say that. You could be easily give people the benefit of the doubt. You could be some of those people that glass half full, not half empty, right? You can be that. No problem with that. It's where you lose me when you start talking about FFP. And where you lose me is when you start talking about how Manchester United are this football club. No, we're no different than football club, but we're not run like a fucking football club. And that's the reason why 14 days to go, 2.5 weeks to go before the season starts, and Manchester United are dilly-dallying about a fucking
No, let me ask you a question. Would you pay 70 million pounds for Højlund?
No, because you know what? I would get my job done so that I would negotiate with Atlanta during the season and all of that and agree. And then as soon as the season starts, bang, I would negotiate whatever I negotiated. And there you go. Money there. Get the player. Get the kid integrated into the football club. Get him meeting up first with the rest of the squad. Letting him get used to how we play the football and the type of football that we want to play with him in it.
No, but how much would you be willing to pay? What would be your cut-off price?
No, listen to me. At the end of that, I'm a football fan. I'm not a fucking accountant, and I'm not talking about what money's in. I'm talking about the responsibility on the fucking football club. People who are getting paid loads of fucking money, loads of dosh to make these decisions, and we're not. Every fucking summer, we come up fucking short.
Bro, there is... Dino, look, you have to...
Sorry to say, guys, when our nearest rivals have done the fucking treble. Manchester United needed 5 players. 5 players straight into our starting lineup.
Yeah, you've got to take a little bit more responsibility. Not only as doing a podcast, as a fan. You can't just say, "I want this player. I don't care how much it costs."
This is what I'm saying.
Listen. What Shawnee is saying is fair. is if we were to go and have paid 100 and something million for Sancho, no, it's too much. It's not worth it. So,
Too much.
and Frankie de Jong thing, that was ridiculous. But Barcelona kept moving the goalposts. So you have
Listen,
to
Bombay,
empathize a little bit with
Manchester United overspent in a transfer by 77 million.
But look,
That's not
it's a fair
it.
question. Look, this is a fair question, right? Listen,
There's a firm in Switzerland that every summer looks at transfer, rates the transfer of every football club, and tells you what the value in the market is and how much people got bent over. And
but it doesn't mean that people are going to sell. Yeah, but it doesn't mean that somebody's going to sell. Manchester United can't say, look, this place in Switzerland said Højlund's worth 40 million. You have to sell it.
Listen, let me say something now.
How much is Højlund worth? What's he worth?
Bombay, I'm sorry to say, this is the fucking difference between Manchester United and teams like Liverpool. Even though at Liverpool, all of the guys have gone. They've gone. They bought in a guy from Germany, Wolfsburg. They bought in a guy from Wolfsburg to help out club only this summer, right? Or this season, right? Yeah. They bought in. So look, Kim Min-jae, Atlanta, everybody knew the guy had a 40 million release clause. 40 fucking million release clause. He is one of the best centre halves of last season in Serie A. He got voted the best centre half in Serie A last season, right? Yeah. Manchester United knew, and Manchester have been talking to representatives for fucking 3 to 4 months. Guess what? Bayern Munich, a real football club, steps up. Bam, we lose.
No, Kim Min-jae is walking into Bayern Munich starting 11. Does Kim Min-jae start for us? Does he start ahead of Varane or Martinez?
Yes, he fucking does.
Who does he bench?
He starts because of
ahead of Varane. He starts ahead of Varane. He will start ahead of Varane.
Varane is the guy who gets injured every fucking other couple of months.
I don't think United could have guaranteed 2 months. You know the thing with players is that when you're negotiating with players, aside from salary, you also negotiate team status. So I don't think United could have guaranteed Kim the amount of playing time that he was looking for. Which are some of the competitions.
Sean. Oh my God, Sean! I swear to God, Sean, I need to check your accounts. You need to full disclosure. I need to check your accounts because I'm not
like Sean.
Like a full-on paid-up member. You're telling us that you need a nitty-gritty. No, Kim Min-jae was going to be bought for 40 million. Everybody was in the release clause. Eric Ten Hag wanted him as a defender. It was Eric Ten Hag's first choice.
No, but how do you know that now? You don't know that any more than I know the nitty-gritty of his.
You know what? You know some of these stenographers are literally reporting it as well that Manchester United, Kim Min-jae, and majority of journalists in Italy, not the journalists here, journalists in Italy are reporting Manchester United, Kim Min-jae. We were the only club that was linked with him for that amount of month, and then till he got to where he got to. Where July he had to release his clause, and Manchester United, a proper football club like Bayern Munich, steps in, bang, gone.
I think with United, we currently have 4 defenders. It would be irresponsible, in my opinion, to sign a 5th one without figuring out what you're doing with the remaining 4.
Sean, I beg you, please, Sean. I beg you, please. I would agree with you if the 4 players we've got are brilliant.
No, but they are not. But
let me finish. If those 4 were brilliant centre halves, but they're not. One of them is a fucking sick note. I just explained to you. One of them plays for a month and is out for 2 months, then back for a month and is out for 3 months. That's fucking Varane. Lindelof came in, stepped in, did a job. The other guy, used to be our captain, has played more minutes for fucking England than he did for last season for Manchester United.
Well, you have to get them off the wage book first.
What the fuck does that tell you?
You have to get them off the wage bill.
Well, because you know what, Sean? This is another fucking problem. This is where you got round circle and square fucking holes. Manchester United cannot sell. You know what we sold so far? We sold 2 youth players, Braid to Birmingham, fucking Iqbal to Utrecht. We sold Unana to Nottingham Forest, but the club's been briefing. Month after month, week after week, 13 players need to go. 13 players. What fucking players? Maguire's still here. McTominay's still fucking here. Donny van de Beek still here. Anthony Martial. Martial, I agree. Nobody wants to buy a broken fucking guy who's injured every other fucking week. Nobody wants to buy that. Maguire is always.
How'd you get rid of Maguire? Do you know?
Donny van de Beek, fuck off for now because he didn't.
Bro, let me ask you. How'd you get rid of? How'd you get rid of Maguire?
What do you mean? How'd you get rid of Maguire?
Honestly, like, how do you do it? Who's going to pay for Maguire
You know
and
what you
pay
do?
him 200 a week?
You want 40 million for him, and then you give him 10 fucking million for the wages and say, "Yeah, I'll pay him off." Like we paid fucking Sanchez off. How did we get rid of Sanchez? We paid him off.
How many people do we now pay off now? I mean, like you're talking about, we're talking about tens of millions of dollars here.
Just lost 90 million, Pogba,
You know
bro,
how
for
much
free.
money we gave to Sanchez? About 10, 15 million to pay him off of his contract.
That's what I'm saying. That's not the practice you want to make standard. That has to be a one-off situation.
No, it's not one-off. I'm sorry, it's not, because when a dickhead like me, who's only got FA coaching batch 1 and 2, lives in Hume on road, was saying Harry Maguire is not the guy and he's not worth 80 fucking million, where these guys who are getting paid amount of money to work for Manchester United, to scout people like him, right, and to get him in, I was saying that. Who the fuck am I?
No, but Nuruddin, so was Darwin Núñez worth 90 million? Was Enzo
at the end of the day, Darwin Núñez is a guy who banged 30 goals that season. And at the end of the day, one thing about Benfica, every other player,
Matheus, let's do it.
From Latin America, let me finish. They get these players from Latin America when no other clubs taking a chance on them, except for maybe for Brighton and except for a team in Spain, maybe, right? And before the team in Ukraine, I forgot their name.
I was going on the list. Is Declan Rice worth 120 million?
Shakhtar Donetsk, Benfica, Brighton are doing it in the Premier League now. They go and get these players, and you know what they want? They develop them. They get them settled into the country. They put them into their football club. They give them an opportunity to perform. They hide all of their weaknesses. They get them to perform at a higher level, and then they want fucking money.
A simple quote is:
I think Benfica are one of the clubs in the world that make the most profit from their players.
Yes, I agree with you. A simple quote is:
you know what you're gonna get when you go to Benfica. You know
do not ascribe to malice what can be explained. What can be explained by stupidity. It's a principle that I abide by. Do not ascribe to malice what can be explained by stupidity. So I would agree with you that
it is fucking malice. We're run by fucking Glazers. What are you on about? Do you know how Glazeronomics works? You know that players we sign. We sign shit players, Sean. Shit players.
Nuruddin, you're being triggered now. Come on.
No, I'm sorry about this. I don't know how he doesn't fucking know this.
No, Nuruddin, but there's a lot of people who support Man United that have these views.
Sign shit players. Put them on big wages because it's in the fucking balance sheet. It's in the balance sheet, and what does that do? Propped up the fucking shares on the stock exchange. That's what they do.
But Nuruddin, all right.
What you're saying is we're sabotaging ourselves.
We've always sabotaged ourselves, for God's sake. We've always done that since these bastards took over.
That's how we do it. They're not interested in football. Are you fucking kidding
me? That's it then. We can't talk about a single manager.
It's an asset. It could be bananas. It could be anything. It could be cardboard boxes. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be toilet paper.
So where does that leave our opinions on? What I'd say is, where does that leave every single opinion that's ever been voiced about any manager that's come in since Alex Ferguson?
I mean, they have to be responsible as well. Now there has to be some responsibility for the managers. There has to be some responsibility for the players as well.
No, I mean, what I'm saying, Sean, you misunderstood me, bro. What I'm saying, on the basis that we are a self-sabotaging club on purpose who buy shit assets for big money to raise the stock prices, if that's the case and the managers are not sabotaging their own selves because they're the ones that get the bullet, think about it.
No,
then how can you actually? How can you actually?
Jose Mourinho wanted Maguire. Right. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanted Maguire. Then the club was stupid enough to fucking pay 80 fucking million for an average fucking centre half.
So they're not self-sabotaging. They gave him what they wanted, but it's crap.
That's what I'm saying. But we signed him. The reason why the wages are up and we gave him a 7-year fucking contract and we put him on that wages, it's because to get the fucking thing up. And also,
let me just clear up. I don't work for the Glazers. I'm in my actual office now.
Yeah. Where's Joel? Where's Joel and Avi? Come on.
Come on. He's in the office there. Avram. Is Joe there? Can you get Joe to come on, please?
None of them are here. I've never met the Glazers or anything like that.
By the way, people, he's working.
I just think
they live in New York,
things are a little more complicated. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to ascribe malice when I think people are just simply incompetent. These guys are.
I'm sorry, but Sean, competence for 1 year. Sean, competence for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year. not fucking 10 years, not 11 years. Sorry.
What?
Not
Where's
competent.
Irfan?
Irfan is gone. Listen, we've been on it for far too long. But big up, Sean. How's work, bro? What time was it you were watching the game last night? What was it in your time yesterday? The game
It was 5:30. It was 5:30 p.m.
Oh, perfect time to get off work.
Yeah.
Go. Oh, perfect.
Good time.
No, don't worry about Sean, brother. Me and Sean are chilling. Me and Sean are rolling.
Yeah. It's not.
I mean, it's well paid. We are well paid. Good job, Sean.
I'm not a like person. I'm not a toxic positive fan. I just think that some of these things.
No, you're definitely not a toxic positive fan, Sean. I can't accuse you of that. I can never accuse you of that. You know.
Yo, Sean, is that like solid gold behind you? What's that, man?
No,
that's solid gold.
It's a regular ass office, man. It's just. I just in case like my I don't want them to see that like I'm calling from the office. That's why I have my hand.
Listen, big up, Sean. Big up, Sean. So, what time would it be the game when it's on Sunday in Las Vegas? What time's kickoff?
Yeah, like it's this like whatever time it is, it will be the same time. Let me check the METV app.
Because it's in Las Vegas. It's near LA, isn't it? Yeah.
It is.
Arizona is close to LA. Yeah.
6 o'clock my time.
There you go. Perfect.
It should be like midnight or something in the UK.
No, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning now in the UK.
Isn't there a massive fight? Errol Spence is fighting Bud Crawford, man.
When's that on Sunday or Saturday?
That's on the 29th.
Yeah,
that's tomorrow.
Okay.
Saturday night.
It's in what's his name fighting the UFC guy, the Cameroonian guy.
Oh, Francis
Ngannou fighting what's his name? The Tyson Fury.
Oh, no.
Listen, at the end of the day, we'll see where we get. But the fact that Manchester United have no strikers for me is laughable. It's absolutely laughable. 2.5 weeks out.
Striker is coming. Let's just like.
How long is it going to take him to settle into the football, to the way we play?
No, I mean it would take him some time, and I think I read something in the Athletic that Ten Hag plans to play Rashford as the striker for a while to allow Holland to settle into the team. You know, the main guy. Which again, I don't mind. Like for me, I'm looking for improvement from last season. I'm not looking for Premier League title yet or Champions League yet or anything like that. I just want us to improve from last season. I want us to hold Rashford and Bruno, those two guys, hold them accountable when they do rubbish. Basically.
Yeah, facts. Honestly, for me, you'll be able to say, you know what, had a shit game. This is how it is. We've had an absolute shit game. Listen, I'm sorry, Nani Balling, listen to me. Talk to me on Twitter and we'll get you on next time, bro. Seriously, I'm about to end the show. It's been far too long. But big up to Bumbaye, big up to Irfan, big up to Tom. Who else was we had on tonight? Tom, Sean, Irfan.
Sean.
Yeah.
That's about it, yeah.
Yeah, Red Lab. Yeah, big up to everybody, man, who jumped in. Big up to all of you in the chat, by the way, as well. Please smash a like on the video. At least we should have at least 150, 160 likes on this video. But love and light, people. We'll see. We'll be back here, hopefully, maybe Sunday afternoon, doing a match reaction to the madness, what we see against Dortmund. Might be playing against Sabitzer. That might be good. That might be nice. And we hope and pray for Manoo to make a speedy recovery. That's what we hope and pray.
I love that guy. I want to see him play. If you're good enough, you're old enough.
Yeah. Definitely.
Shout out, boys.
Listen, big up Sheikh Harry and big up to you, man. Have you got your exam results yet? Let us know. Big up. He says the Crawford versus Spence card starts at 1 a.m. The main event is much later.
It's one of the biggest fights.
It's going to be on the same time as the football then, yeah. So people will be watching the football and boxing. But I've heard Manchester United's on Sunday night, not Saturday night.
It's on Sunday, yes, you're correct. 30th of July.
Yeah, Sunday. But it is what it is, people. Love and like, people. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. This is the real, raw, red podcast, people. It's real, it's raw, and it's red. So big up to you. We were looking for sponsors to sponsor the show because that's how we are, people. So let people know.
Real raw and red like Joe Glazer's ass, bro.
Big up. Listen, go and check out Sean Thomas at Sean Thomas on Twitter. And the podcast is called How We See Things. How We See Things. So make sure you go and check that podcast out. You can get it all your podcast providers. You talk about geopolitical affairs. And you need to get Red Leb on one of that podcast episodes, man. Definitely. I'll pass you his details if you ever
We're going to
want.
be all right. We're going to be all right. This is a good manager. Back him and back whatever he wants, man. Just a bit of time. We will get that, and you're going to get your striker.
Yeah.
That's a damn.
By the way,
that.
Sean, this fella here, born in Niger. No problem.
Yeah.
Sean, where are you from? Nigeria?
Yeah, from Nigeria originally, yes. Yeah. I just have
which part, bro?
Lagos.
Oh, so we are neighbors then. I was in Apapa and Wari.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's like neighbors then.
There you go.
Like
there you go, bro. There you go. Listen, big up to every one of you. Bruno Rashford, heads go down fast, weak mentality. I'll sponsor you. See you in AA. Big up. We deserve better. I said some of the best comments tonight. Monday the 21st, 2 a.m. GFM versus Dortmund. Oh, Monday the 21st at 2 p.m. GMT. Oh, so 2 p.m. our time, like 2 p.m. in the morning. Monday morning. Yeah. Cool. No problem, bro. Thank you so much. Big up. Love and light, people. We'll catch you in the next one. Take care, people. Love and light. Win, lose or draw. Glazers out. Bankers out.
Peace.
Kopu Manoo, recover. Sending universal healing energy to you, son. Big up.
Big up, everyone.
Stockport Incy. Find out Irfan as well. Irfan Rainey at Irfan Rainey. You can also find Tom Journalist One at Tom Journalist One. Peace, love and light, people. Look after yourselves.
Peace.